Recording. Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for this fifth and final clicker training session of the series of clicker training as organized by Chaz from the WCED. We hope that you found it useful. We really appreciate the feedback we've gotten so far and all the efforts you've put into doing the homework, those of you that have managed to submit. And based on that, we do hope to continue with clicker training in the future, starting from next term. We are just at this time trying to figure out what would be the best format for training going forward. Obviously, you've got to balance the connectivity issues with many of the teachers have experienced, with the fact that it is nice to have everyone all together at one time, and if you say in your own time do something or watch these videos, often that never really happens because let's face it, many of us are strapped for time, so the live option is nice for that, but we've just got to figure out how and when and all of that. Alright, so I'm going to jump right into it with today's topic. We will be looking at how to edit clicker sets. Today you're all going to become introductory computer programmers. A lot of the principles or the basics of editing clicker sets is quite similar to your very basic computer programming. You set actions or sequence of events that occurs, sort of what if scenarios. If you click on this cell, this and this will happen. So that's basically what we're going to be doing today, and some of the training I've actually based on questions that I received in an email, one from Di and another one from, I think it's Gio. As an Engelsman, I say Gio in my head, but I think it's Gio at Beacon. And so I'm also going to cover that. Alright, I'm going to start by sharing my desktop. Once again, if you get stuck, you can type in. I know we are always dealing with internet connectivity issues, so just please bear with us. I am recording and this will be up again on the YouTube channel. Alright, I'm going to share my desktop and go straight into Clicker. Alright, now this page should be familiar to most of you. This is the Make a Clicker book page. In one of our training sessions where we covered how to make a clicker book, you use this click and edit wizard to make your book. Now this is the most basic way to make any changes to a clicker set. You clicked on any of the text boxes, typed in your text, and then there it was in the clicker set. And when you were happy with all your changes, you clicked on play, and then you were able to run your book as your student or in class, where if you click on the buttons, the functions will happen. So that button will read out the text on the page. Now these clicker wizards, also the wizards that we used for sentence building, are designed to make it easy for you to create your own lessons. You didn't have to manually put this box in this position, resize it, and set up all of the functions. The wizard does that for you. The wizard automatically creates the relationship between this little speech bubble and all the text on the page, so that when I click here, it will speak all of the text. Now when you go into the edit clicker set function, you have the power to change all of those pre-made relationships and all of the pre-made sort of sizing and that of your clicker set. Okay, let's just do a quick look around and tour of the Edit Clicker Set function. Once you have clicked on Edit Clicker Set, it opens up the editing side. Now this will look vaguely similar to your PowerPoint, where you have all the slides on the side. And your actual slide that you're working with is big here in the front. All of the icons at the top pertain to what is selected on your slide. Now when I first open up, and let's start to use the correct terminology for clicker, this is a page because it fills the whole page. And when you had a sentence building activity and it was half the size, it was called a grid. So when I've clicked on that page and nothing on the page is selected, anything that I change up here pertains to the background. So I can change the background color, and you'll see that instantly the background color has now changed. Now as soon as I click on something, I can see that it is selected by the very small boxes that appear around it. That might be quite difficult for some of you to see, so I'll click on something else. I've just clicked on the speech bubble at the bottom. Okay, and you'll see that now there are 4 squares surrounding that speech bubble. Once it is selected, everything that I do up here pertains only to that cell or object. Okay, so I can click on this cell and change the appearance, or I can change what happens in the click and edit. The middle cell, which is a picture cell, I have some more options. I can change the appearance, I can change the click and edit, but I can also change sound and video. I can say what clicking on this cell would open and how the cell is arranged. Now the difference between the one above and the one below is that the top box is actually just a text box, while the box in the middle is actually a full cell with all features. Let's just change what we are looking at. At the moment we are on the first tab, the outline tab, where I can see all the different pages. I can also change this to view the masters. And this is very similar to in PowerPoint, you have your master page. And if I change something on the master page, it changes all of the pages that are created using that master page template. So if I make a change here, let's say I make the background color blue here, and I go back to pages, I see because I've automatically changed that one. Let's just make a new start page. Every time I add a start page, it will now have the blue background. This start page has obviously been manually changed. So you can make changes to the master page after you have created it. Okay, so that's the masters. You also have pop-ups. If there are any pop-ups that will appear during your activity, and you have sequences. Now this clicker set doesn't have any sequences yet, but I'm just going to go out of Edit Clicker Set and open up a different activity. I'm going into the SAM sentences activity that many of you will recognize from earlier lessons, where I had sentences 1, 2, and 3. And remember that sentences 1 was all sentences with the model on the grid. Sentences 2 was the pop-up model, and sentences 3 was the audio. Now each of these sets of sequences is a sequence of pages in a set order that you can set up your clicker set to go through the first sequence, then come back to this front page, then go through the second sequence, come back, and then go through the third sequence. So that is sequences. Let's just go back to our clicker set that we were with, this book. That was our sentences, our pop-ups, masters, and create a new sequence. Let's go across to Media tab. This is where you can bring in pictures straight by dragging them in to your clicker set and placing them anywhere. Okay, I've just deleted that. I can also go into objects. Now this is one of the more useful areas where you can bring in all sorts of buttons or cells. Now remember, regular cells have all of these options. They can open other things, they can bring in sound and video. If I delete that, a text box has very limited options. So just be sure which type of cell you want to bring in, and experiment a bit with the different types of cells. Okay, we've looked at objects, and the fourth tab is for scanning. Now that you'll only need to look at when you have a student that needs to use switch scanning. So they are using a switch to access clicker, and we will help you and do training on that when it is appropriate. So you can leave that, but you'll only be working with these 3 tabs and all of the tabs at the top. Let's go back to our outline. I just want to show you how you can also move things around and resize them, and it won't change any of their properties. Okay, look here. If I resized my text box, but I didn't change the text, it makes a scroll bar. Now it might be easier for you to change the size of your text to fit inside your text boxes. When you're making clicker sets, just be sure to constantly go out of the editing mode and check that your changes are looking right, because sometimes it might look a little bit different in your edit clicker set function. Alright, let's get right into some troubleshooting. We had a question from Di. I'm going to go to her clicker set. Alright, this is a book. Let me just get there. Okay, this is one of the pages of the clicker book that Di had made. I see someone has just joined us. So this will look vaguely familiar. This page will look more familiar. So Di very successfully made a clicker book. She used the landscape clicker book and put in a picture at the top, text at the bottom, and she even added in her own round cell with the symbol in it. So she added that cell and then added the picture to the cell. Now when she's ready to use her book, she can go into play mode, because before she clicked on play, if she had clicked on the picture or something like that, I'm just going to show you by opening up the toolbar. When you are still in click and edit mode, she clicks on the picture cell. Whoops, there we go. It will bring up options for you to edit it. And you don't want your students to be editing your clicker book once you are finished making it. So the first thing I would advise, Di, is to go to Edit Clicker Set and just take away that editing toolbar completely. You do that by clicking on Properties at the bottom underneath all of the pages, and there you have more advanced options for your clicker set. I can go across to the Click and Edit and completely disable Click and Edit. And this is only when you are finished editing your book. If I go out of the Edit Clicker Set function, you see there's no longer that play option, but if someone clicks there, oh, there we are, I'm still on the Click and Edit, open up a pop-up. I just want to go undo. What happened there is that it opened up a pop-up to select the picture that should go there. What we needed to do, let's just go back into Edit Clicker Set, is disable that function. Right, let's just go into Edit Clicker Set. Okay, this is part of your troubleshooting. Just waiting for Edit Clicker Set to open. Okay, we select the cell, we select Open, and at the moment it's set up to open up this pop-up when the cell is clicked, and we want to choose Do Nothing. So now when you click on that cell, it won't open up the pop-up and you won't lose your picture. Okay, so some of those functions you need to disable. I'm going to move on to the next thing. Later I'm just not going to save this and get that picture back in there. Okay, now we've got some changes to make to this page. Now on this page you will see that Di made a lot of changes to the original Clicker book. She brought in additional picture cells and additional text cells. Now Di ran into the problem that when she clicked on the speech bubble, it only played the text from one of the text boxes, the original text box that was on the page, based on the original relationship between this object and the text box.
My friends.
I don't know if you saw the highlighting. I'll click
My
again.
friends.
But when I click on the speech bubble, it only reads out my friends, but not the other text. But I would like Clicker to read out all of the text boxes. Okay, that's a little bit more advanced. So we go into Edit Clicker Set. Just wait for that to open. You select the speech bubble box or speech bubble object. Okay, I see my squares around it. And now I choose from the Sound and Video tab, when the cell is left clicked, choose. I can choose to speak the text shown in the cell. Now that might seem like the best option, but all that is going to do is try and read text in that little icon. And you'll see there is no text in the icon. So that's not going to work. We want it to speak other text that's not in the cell but is in the clicker set. Let's just wait for that option to load. We see we have some settings here already, but I'm going to just backspace all of that and set this up from scratch. You insert text from text boxes, and I can see this one, even though it is quite squashed, this is the box that reads lots of things make me happy, and I want Clicker to read all of the text in that box. Then I want it to read my dog, so I insert another text box. This time, my dog. I click on text, and then that's added. Then I go into insert, and the last one, my friends, the text, because I wanted to read all the text in all the text boxes. I can click on OK, and then I'll go out of Edit Clicker Set, and if I click on the speech bubble,
lots of things make me happy. My dog, my friends.
the clicker voice now did read all of the text in each box, one box at a time. Alright, so that was how to solve that problem. Now Dyer encountered another problem where she created her book and said, okay, make this page the last page of my book. And that was this page with good food to eat and a loving home. She then later realized actually she wants another page to be added. This page with I am a lucky guy, I am very happy. But originally, because Clicker Set had been set up a certain way, when she clicked on the next page button, it brought her all the way back to the start page, instead of taking her to the next page. Now that's very simple to fix. We need to go into Edit Clicker Set, go down to that page where we just clicked on the button, that will be this page, and choose what happens when this button is clicked, the right arrow. Okay, we go to open, and instead of it being when the cell is clicked, move to first, we choose what will happen and say move to, actually we should just be able to say move to next. Otherwise you could have said move to and chosen a specific page. You can go scroll down the move to, and you'll see you aren't able to use your mouse scroller in this move to. You have to go put your mouse at the bottom and let it scroll itself, and I can manually choose page 17 here. But let's just test if move to next will work. Yes, it does. If I go back and go back into Edit Clicker Set, select it again, you can change by making it say move to, scroll all the way down and choose page 17 manually. They will both open page 17. Okay, so those are the two things that Di had asked. If you run into any problems or you're not sure how to do something in Clicker, please feel free to email me. Be sure to include the actual Clicker set that you were busy with and possibly some screenshots of the problem that you're encountering. I'm going to go out of Edit Clicker Set for now and go to another slightly more difficult question that was sent in by Hio. He wanted to know, okay, you are able to make a sentence building activity with one of the 3 levels of support or no support. So he's able to make a sentence building activity that has either a pop-up or a speech bubble or a model on the grid or no model. But how can he make a sentence building activity like this one, where it is the same sentences at different levels? Now that is slightly more tricky, but definitely doable. Anything that you can find online or in your examples, you would be able to recreate and make your own. So if this is an activity, we can make it ourselves. The first thing you need to do is make sentence building activities using the same sentences but with different levels of support. In my Word document, I have the 4 sentences as an example that I want in my sentence building activity. You can put in any sentences that you want here with varying levels of difficulty. Okay, I then go back to Clicker and you use the clicker set, new clicker set, sentence building activity to make 3 different sentence building activities. You go into your Word document, select everything, right click, copy, go back into Clicker, paste from clipboard all your sentences, and you choose which type of model to create. And now do this 3 different times so that you eventually have 3 different clicker sets. For example, I made this one where it's the model on the grid. I made this one where it is the pop-up model, and I made this one where it is the speech model. Now I did this in advance of the clicker training just because we have already been over how to make a clicker sentence building activity. So if you have forgotten, please review that YouTube video, the one where we trained live, or you can go to the WCED LSEN training and watch the how to make a sentence building activity there. Okay, we have our 3 different types of activities, but we want them all to be in one clicker set. So we are going to need to copy all of the sentences from this one and put them all of the sentences from this activity or 2 of the activities and paste those into a single activity. I've done that in advance just to show you how it might look. When I click on number 1, it opens up the activity 1. When I click on number 2, it opens up activity 2. And when I click on 3, it also will open up level 3. Okay. Just want to go into edit clicker set and show you what that looks like. To do that, I used those sequences we talked about earlier. So you're going to need to create a new sequence for each of those. Let's get started. I'm going to choose this sentence building activity where it starts with on the grid to be my starting point. I'm going to go into edit clicker set and make a new sequence where those sentences will be. I will create a new sequence. There's nothing in that sequence yet. I go back to my grids and pages. Just click on the first one. Hold down the shift button. Hold down the shift button till you get to the last one. Now you see all of those are selected. Right click. Whoops, I lost it there. Keep your shift in. Right click. Now cut those. So say cut. So I have cut all of those grids. I'm going to go back to sequence 2. Right click there and paste all of those sentences. So this is now my sequence 2. In a new sequence, I want the sentences that have the pop-up model, but I can't find those in this clicker set. I need to go out of edit clicker set, go across to the sentence building activity that we made with a pop-up, and you'll see I have saved these conveniently with what their level of support is. This I saved as sentence building _ pop-up. And now in here, you go into edit clicker sets. You do the same thing. You select the first one, hold down shift, select the last one, keep shift in, right click, and now I don't need to cut these. I'm just going to copy them, just in case something goes wrong while I'm busy moving them. I will still have the original ones here. I go out of edit clicker set and go back into the clicker set we were busy with, the on the grid one. Go into edit clicker set, open up that sequence 3, right click and paste all of those grids into sequence 3. Now I'm going to quickly do the same thing for sequence 4. Create a new sequence. I need to go and get those. Go out of edit clicker set. Go into the speech one where I have a speech bubble. Go into edit clicker set. Select them. Hold down shift. Select them all. Right click. Copy those. Out of edit clicker set. Go back to where we were on the grid. Okay, into edit clicker set, go to that sequence, sequence 4, right click, paste those. Okay, we now have all of the sequences that we need. Let's just go to our pop-ups to make sure that when we copied the sentences from the pop-up activity, it did also bring with those the pop-ups and all associated functions with that clicker set. But now I'm still missing something. I still need that front page where you choose which activity to go to. And to do that, we need to make a front page. So we go to grids and pages, add new. So we click on that little plus, click on add new. Now we don't want to make a sentence. We want to make something completely from scratch, where we use a template. Now you can choose from any of these different templates, but I always prefer to just use a blank template. And you can either choose a grid, which will be half of the page, or a page, which is the full page, and click create. You have now created a full page. You can change the properties and you can bring in objects. Now make sure to bring in some cells. So we need one for sentences 1, one for sentences 2, and another one for sentences 3. Okay, now I'm going to just double click on the first one and type in sentences 1. I then double click again, sentences 2, and again sentences 3. Okay, now I need to change what happens when I click on sentences 1. Obviously you can fill this page with pictures, with other instructions, whatever you'd like. But for now, these are the 3 basic things that I need. I click on sentences 1 and I choose what happens when I open. When I click there, what should be opened. I choose move to sequence 2, the first grid in this sequence. I could also have chosen sentences 1 _ 1, which is the first grid in that sequence. I could even have chosen a random grid, which would have opened any one of those 4 sentences. But I'm going to choose the first grid. I'm going to go into sentences 2 and choose move to sequence 3. Now don't be confused. The sequences will always start from sequence 2. But here we have first grid of sequence 3, and sentences 3 will move to sequence 4, first grid in the sequence. Let's go out of Edit Clicker Set and see what happens. If I click on sentences 1, it opens up those sentences that have the models on them. Can go back, click on sentences 2, and it opens the sentences that have the pop-up. Just close that down, go back, and I click on sentences 3, and it opens up the sentences that have the audio speech bubble. So there you have it. We've moved all of the grids, all of these sentences from different activities into a single activity, and we now have a more advanced clicker set. Once you are finished making your changes, go to clicker set, save clicker set as, and make sure that you save it somewhere where you'll be able to find it later. Sure, we covered a lot today. I didn't get any questions. I'm sorry I didn't really pause. Are there any questions now? I know there's a lot more that we could still cover in this editing feature. Today was just a basic introduction to Edit Clicker Set, and hopefully once I've added the video, you will be able to review it in your own time. Are there any questions? If there aren't any questions, just so I know that you're still there, would you mind just going to just typing in that you're okay? Okay. You can feel free to send in your questions like you did last week. Okay, I see most of everyone seems to be all right. I want to show one other thing. Okay, so I'm going to share my desktop again. I had explained that I was going to put all of the homework activities that everyone sends in on the Google Drive. And some people are not familiar with the Google Drive, so let me just show you what I mean by that. When you have a Gmail address or @gmail.com address, you automatically have a Google Drive, which is like an external hard drive on the internet, a space for you to put your documents, your videos, anything that you want to store online. Now, the Google Drive also allows you to share parts of your drive or your whole drive with someone else. All right. I have opened here my Google Drive. This is Edit Microsystems Google Drive, where we have some folders, and inside the school resources or training material, I have put different things that I can share with you. School resources. So this is where I will load up some those homework activities, and I will be able to send you a link to where you can go and download those or just view them. Okay, your drive will not look like mine. It will have only the folders and documents that you have loaded, And until you create some folders or documents or upload some folders or documents, you won't have anything in there. But I am going to go into Clicker Resources and go into the Clicker 6 Virtual Training Uploads, where I have already made some folders, one for the introduction, where here you can already see we have Beacon School, Clicker Doc, Shirabuta School, Clicker Doc, and Dillabat, Clicker Doc. And I'm going to make this a shared folder that not only can you download these activities, but you can also upload your activities to them. So if you would like to add something, you can just click on Upload Files and load your files to the Google Drive. Alright, so that will come to you as a link which you can go through the different folders and choose what you would like to download and have a look at. Alright, that's it from me. I see we have 3 minutes left. I'm going to stop sharing my desktop, and if anyone wants to say a goodbye to the group or sign off, you can open your mic now and do that if you'd like. Unfortunately, it looks like Chaz has logged off, otherwise I'm sure he would say thank you once again to everyone for joining. I'm just going to give you a few minutes for everyone to say goodbye. Otherwise, we hope you have a wonderful break, and we'll see you again next term. Dillabat School says thank you. Oh, no one wants to speak. Everyone's shy. Okay, no volunteers to speak then. That's okay. Thank you so much for your feedback. Chaz will send an email requesting more formal feedback from the school so that he can report back on the training that took place. Please give your answers there. Thank you all so much for joining. It's really been great to log in and see the same schools here every week, persevering despite connectivity issues, sending in your homework, asking questions. It's really been quite fantastic, and I hope we have the same, if not better, response next term when we come back with our clicker training. Alright, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, have a good holiday, and I'm going to sign off now. Thank you, bye!